Thank you so much, everyone, for staying with us. Two major issues on our hands: the 2019 election and the review, and of course, the newly constituted cabinet by President Muhammadu Buhari. Though he has today commended the Senate for the expeditious approach it adopted in confirming the ministerial nominees ordered to it by the president. So we were talking about the review of the 2019 election, and of course, we'll talk more on the cabinet. Oyalowo has since joined us, an economist and a development expert. I've also been talking to Mr. Reno Omokri, a best-selling author and a lawyer, talking to us from London. Let me quickly go to our Abuja studio to get a view of Oyalowo on the 2019 elections and some of the reactions coming through. The report has indicted the two major parties in Nigeria, the PDP, the APC. And they say none of these parties are complicit. This is a report. This is an election that saw the emergence of the candidate of your party, President Buhari, emerging as a winner. And they said that a lot happened that were not good enough. Your reaction, Ayo?
Well, I wouldn't know who are the people that you are listening to. If it is that Clement Owanko man and his gang and his band of merry-go-rounder, well, I wouldn't know what to say about him. The man clearly has his own agenda, and his agenda is different from every normal agenda that any normal person knows. He has clearly shown his bias in every way he goes. He calls himself Situation Room. I don't know what that is. And everything that he does, everybody with any sense of modicum knows that the man is running his own program. Whoever is his sponsor, he needs to tell the world.
But these are civil
society. Be that as it may.
Sorry, apologies.
15 million Nigerians have spoken.
I wouldn't want us to disparage all people's personalities while we're talking about the
issues.
Well,
I am not disparaging anybody's personality.
Just a moment. I'm asking you a question. And the question is that this is a group of civil society organizations who have come together and did a report, an observation, and they came together to see a report that said that it indicted the two major political parties, including your own party. It's not only by one man.
Because they have to make it look like they are balanced. I mean, APC won the election, so what do they want to say? They will have to pretend they are indicting both parties. But they know the agenda they are running, and honestly, nobody bothers about the agenda. If they have issues, they should go to court with it. The court has clearly seen, Nigerians have been looking at what has happened in the court, and these guys have made all the noise. They can't present any reasonable evidence to show that President Muhammadu Buhari did not win the election. So whatever they want to say, for us, is the barking of a dead dog. When you have killed a snake, you know how it acts towards the end of his life. So it is really not an issue. Whoever has an issue should go to court. All these ramblings and gathering all manner of human beings to give all manner of report will not change the fact that Nigerians spoke on March 23rd and their voices was heard loudly. And anybody who has issues against what happened on that day can visit the court. It is open to everybody. We don't care about all this noise.
Let me put this question to you.
Like you it's the noise of the market. People have the right to make their noise, and Nigerians have the right to make their choice when the elections were held.
The European Union Observation Group has given its report, not so far from what the Situation Room has given. One of the findings is that under the political parties, they said there's a flagrant abuse of electoral laws by the two main political parties, including issues of vote buying, intimidation, use of hate speech, and fake news. I'd like to ask you, would you say that the 2019 elections, in your own right, is better than that of 2015 elections?
Well, I don't know how they arrive at their own result, but what matters and what is very important is evidence. The European Union is the European Union, and we all know that they don't represent the European Union as a body. They are just one body who calls themselves European Union, and they have a right to say whatever they want to say. They don't have any stake in our election. They don't have any right to tell us how to run our election.
But what would you say also? Sorry, apologies, Mr. Oyalowo. Apologies, Mr. Oyalowo. Apologies, please. What would you say to, for example, the United States that come out to say they have issued a ban on traveling to the United States to some people who are said to have participated in rigging the elections? What would you say to that?
Well, we don't know their names, but you can remember clearly in their statements also state clearly that they were not targeting the president or the government of Nigeria. They were looking at individuals. And those individuals could be anybody. Anyone who sponsored violence. We know the states where people were killed because of election. We know where they are perpetually merchants of violence even when there is no election. So it is left to the Americans to tell us who those people are, and they don't tell us. It's still a matter of conjecture. For us in the APC, for every one of us who supported President Muhammadu Buhari, we know that the election was won and lost fairly and squarely. Of course, there will be issues here and there. But when you have over 2,000 voting units and you have a little bit of problem in maybe 20 or 30, it does not significantly change the dynamics of the result. There will be issues, no doubt about that. But those issues don't significantly color the result of the election. So to write a whole report and say an election was significantly very bad. I mean, if you say the election was that bad, what will you now say about states that perpetually, even when there's no election, the thuggery there, the killing and human loss that is being experienced in some places in Nigeria as we speak, because of the intolerance of some people? What do you want to talk about that? So it is the nature of some people to be violent. That does not have anything to do with President Muhammadu Buhari's election.
Mr. Oyalowo, let me take you quickly.
They need to talk to themselves.
Yeah, let me take you quickly to the issues of the cabinet. And my first question to you would be on the fact that a lot of people said they are disappointed in the crop of people the president has put together in that cabinet. Would you say that is a kind of a team or squad that any Nigerian should be proud of working as a federal cabinet?
Who are those people who say they are disappointed? What survey did they conduct? Where did they get their results from? Because they just want to talk. Today we've had the story of technocrats, and I want them to tell me how many technocrats we've had in Nigeria and what impact they have had in the past. If you want to tell me about technocrats, you want to tell me someone like Babatunde Raji Fashola, Sunday Dare, somebody like even Barrister Kayamo, Jeji Agba. You want to tell me those people don't know what they are doing? For heaven's sake, people will have to talk because maybe whatever the interest they represent was not captured. And for that reason, they will complain. The cabinet that is technocratic that we've had in the past, all we are having right now is if we are not selling yacht that was bought by stolen money, we are selling jewelry worth hundreds of millions in dollars. So we want people who work for Nigerians. We don't care what kind of appellation you want to put on it. We just want Nigerians who love Nigeria, who knows Nigeria's problem, and who are willing to work for the development and progress of Nigeria. That is what matters to Nigerians, and that is what matters to the president and to those people who love Nigeria. And let
me get Mr. Omokri's final thoughts on the program before we go. Do you think that whatever comes our way, there are sparks of excellence in the cabinet put together by President Buhari, and there is a ray of hope on some of the people who are in that cabinet that can deliver change to Nigeria?
I mean, there's no spark of hope. I mean, this is a cabinet under whom Nigeria became the world headquarters for extreme poverty. This cabinet, the average age of this cabinet is 59 years. Bloomberg said it's 60 years, but when I calculated it myself, it's actually 59 years. This is the oldest cabinet in Nigeria's history. So now, what's the spark of hope there? 3 days ago, the British Prime Minister appointed a 39-year-old Nigerian, Mrs. Badenoch, into his cabinet as a minister. There is no single youth on that cabinet, not one. The youngest person on that cabinet is my age mate. There is no youth on that cabinet. There are 7 women on that cabinet representing just a mere 8% of the cabinet. Former President Jonathan had 35% of his cabinet women. Former President Obasanjo had 28% of his cabinet women. So what is the spark of brilliance? Fashola was not on that cabinet before. What was he? I mean, Nigerians nicknamed him Minister for Darkness. How many roads did he build? How many power stations did he build? The last power station built in Nigeria was built by former President Jonathan. All right. So this is a cabinet that is spectacular.
I must leave it at that, Mr. Omokri. Let me allow Oyalowo's final word. In 30 seconds, please, if you would like to give your final word on this cabinet, what should Nigerians be looking forward to?
Nigeria should look forward to a cabinet that cares about Nigeria. All the story about 25% that he has been giving us, all we saw was stolen patrimony. all we are doing now is recovering from that same cabinet of 25% that is telling us. We don't care about percentage. Even though I would have wanted so more youth, I mean, much number of youth and women, for now, that is what we have. But what we should charge this cabinet is that they should go and work for Nigeria. Somebody is telling us about 25%. But that person will not come and tell us that everything that happened after that cabinet was heist, stealing, and corruption and looting. For us, we don't want that. If this cabinet can deliver for Nigeria and take Nigeria to the next level, then Nigerians will no longer bother about whether it's 5% or 25%. Okay. It is just about who will serve the interests of the Nigerian people and make their lives better and make Nigeria a better place to live in. That is what is important.
Oyalowo, an economics, a development expert, and a member of the APC. Thank you so much for coming on tonight. And Mr. Reno Omokri, a lawyer and a best-selling author, talking to us from London. Thank you so much for coming on tonight. It's a pleasure having both of you. Well, that's our show for tonight. And the eyes have it, I must say, that whatever you're doing, whatever action you're taking, if you are in government or working for the people, be on the popular side, the people's side. That's our show for tonight, everyone. Many thanks for watching. I'm sure Kimale. Bye for now.